So I am pumped for tonight. Christy is on with us, and we're going to kind of go back and forth and just talk with you guys about things that are working, but also just how to get where you want to go in the business. Christy, I mean, her list of accomplishments, I was like, dang, I got to level up, man. I was like, Prez 2.0, like, dang, that's legit. Double ambassador about to happen probably. And then, you know, just all the stuff that she's accomplished in the business. And I'm so excited to kind of get to know her with you guys tonight. So let's just jump right in. Christy, can you tell us just a little bit about your story and what your life looked like before this? Because it's easy for people to look at where we are now, but I'm sure it wasn't always that way.
Right. And keep in mind, my list of accomplishments is after 7 years, so it's been a minute. So I am Christy Christensen, obviously. I started this business when we were on food stamps and Medicaid. Honestly, I just wanted to start having kids. Like, if you've heard me say that, that's really what it was. Like, I was a newlywed. We had just moved to Utah, so I didn't know anybody. I was literally just like, hey, I want to start having babies over here. And my husband's like, dude, we're broke. Like, that's not the first priority right now. That's literally all it was. And I had just graduated cosmetology school. I was at my first salon in Utah when I moved there. And I was literally pulling in, you guys, it's so embarrassing. It was like, I always say like $200 a week, but really it was like $100 or less a week. And it was just because I didn't have a clientele. I didn't know anybody. And so I was like, wow, this freaking sucks. So my husband suggested that Walmart was hiring and maybe I just pick up a second thing while I grow my clientele. And I was like, no. like I am a hairdresser. Like, I just freaking paid $18,000 to go to school. Like, I'm not getting a damn job at Walmart. But it's funny because we see that now. Like, people go to school and then they can't get a job and have all of this college debt. So it's crazy. But a girl that did eyelashes in the salon that I was at, she offered me the business. I didn't know her. And I took it home to my husband. He was like, oh, is that network marketing? And I was like, I don't know what that is. And he's like, do you like sell something and then you teach other people to sell something? And I was like, I don't know. They got some products. And he's like, all right. He's like, it's network marketing. If you think that you can make back that $100, like you should totally try it. And I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't know anything about it, but he actually did. He had some friends. I don't know, a lot of like Mormons, they do network marketing companies because they were door to door anyways on their missions. So he totally was like, yeah, for sure, do that. And I was like, okay, fine. So I started it. And I did not sign a customer or a distributor for my first 3.5 months in the business. And I love to share that part of my story because you see, oh my gosh, she's going double ambassador this year, yada, yada. But like my first few months was like beyond slow. Like, to be honest, I really, truly believe that the only reason I'm here is because of my faith, because I was like, if other people can do it, like I always watch Susan Wade. I was like, if she can do it, like, I feel like that means I can do it too. Like, that's what was always in my head, even though I didn't sign anything. But I had products coming. I never turned off my auto ship. I didn't know how. So I had wraps coming and I was selling individual wraps to my eyelash clients. So I at least saw cash. So if you guys are not like expert customer distributor signers yet, just figure out a way to bring money into this business, because it's going to grow your belief that like, okay, there is money to be made here. I can make it. I just haven't found my niche, I guess. And so then I actually signed up this girl, and I truly believe that, and I'm just going to kind of like go way far into it because these are little things that I think it's super important. I found this girl and she knew how to sign distributors, and she joined my business, and like, she was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this party. And I was like, okay. And I went to her house and she had like 10 guests there, and like 4 of them signed up as distributors. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And it just kind of like, she is truthfully, like, she is the reason why I went diamond. I started to sign distributors after that. I knew about the product, so that helped me obviously when I helped her talk to them, but she's the reason I went to diamond. And I truthfully didn't become like a higher or even a normal enroller until after that. So I went diamond, and it was a little bit less than a year. And then she actually is not here anymore, which is so funny because it's just always going to be different people. The next year when I went to conference, you guys, even if you are like, there's no way I can go and it's in like 3 or 4 weeks, just freaking go. I actually had decided not to go because I had been a diamond in August and I had my newborn September 2nd. And I was like, I just kind of slowed down. I was like, my team can take care of it. My team didn't take care of it, just so you guys know. Within a couple months, I was an emerald, which, you know, the whole point of that is like, be consistent. Your business is not residual at diamond yet. Okay. It's awesome, but it's not residual yet. So anyways, I was not going to go to conference and people were like, you should go. And I was like, dude, like, my paycheck is barely like enough to even get me to conference because I didn't get the early bird pricing. I live in Las Vegas, like it's across the country, right? In Florida, almost. And so I was like, I'm not going, basically. I was like, I'm not going to do that. And then they kept telling me, go, go, go. So finally in January, literally like right before, gosh, sorry, I get so squirrel. When people were like, you should go, I was like, I just really feel like I need to go. So I drove down to Vegas from Utah, dropped my baby off with my mom. I paid full price for the ticket, which actually on the website, it's still $100 discounted, just FYI, if you guys didn't know that. And I paid like $500 for my flight, which was like literally everything we had. But I just knew I needed to be there. So I went there and it completely changed my business. I would not be here today if I did not go to that conference. After that conference, it's not necessarily what you learn. It's about how you feel. I saw it was real. I saw I could be them. And I went home and I was like, I can really change people's lives. Like, to be honest, I didn't care about anyone else except for myself before that. I was like, this is for me. This is my money. This is my business. But after that, I was like, damn, like I need to literally like change people's lives. Like there's people out there that can't even feed their kids, you know, and it was just crazy. So after that, I never worried about sending one message. I never had a question of belief in this business. I could ask anyone to join my team, whether they made a lot of money or didn't make a lot of money, and wholeheartedly believe that they needed this business. Like I was just like, if it's not you, it's someone you know. Like you need to join right freaking now. And let me just tell you, when you believe, people believe you. Like that is what it is. People are not going to believe you if you don't believe. So anyways, after that, that's when I became what people would call mass enroller. My version of mass enroller is like 30 plus. But after that, honestly, like I started to sign 10 to 20 a month consistently. Like it's never less than that. I mean, sometimes, but usually not. And so it's honestly it was just a game changer. So went double that year, the next distributor, sorry. Because you guys, like, your goal is to get like your first 6 customers and then to sign distributors and teach them to get their 6 customers. Your goal is not to, I'm sorry if I'm overstepping something that you teach, but your goal is not to sign 80 customers a month and 0 distributors. Like that's not residual. It's not going to duplicate on itself, right? If you can sign 80 customers and then also sign 5 distributors, that's great. But you need to be bringing in those distributors. So next year I went triple. And then I was at triple for about a year and I was like, all right, I'm going to go presidential, but I had ranked up once each year. And I was like, okay, I want to like make some big moves, right? Like what we're all talking about. Like we want to make strides in 2020. So in January I was triple, February I went presidential, and then I kept my foot on the gas and we went, ambassador in May. And I say we, cause it was not just me. Like I was like, keep your foot on the gas. Like, let's go. And so we did, and it was awesome. And honestly, we just made it happen. And it was the best push of my life because I do not regret it one bit. But I will say this, you guys, I have never, I'm not perfect, but I have never like, and it's so funny, when we waited for that promotion, we waited up to like freaking 2 a.m. and it was crazy. And we waited up till then because the system was so damn slow. So anyways, that was fun. And that's just like it's just like the best time of your life. Like when you're promoting and you're just like feeling it and you're like, it's happening. I'm so excited. So anyways, we went ambassador that month, and it was just awesome, and it was just the best time ever. But there was something else I was gonna say, and I totally just forgot. But yeah, so people are kind of asking like how many. I don't know what you mean. Is there a particular post? You guys, this business is not about one post or one message. It is about one post a day, and like this is my system, you guys. Kind of like, Eliana and I were just talking, we had this little book club thing, but we were at the gym together, and she was saying like, cause she goes hard. She's the hardest, like literally like the hardest worker I know, but you can only go so hard when you have kids now and you have a family and stuff like that. So I told her, I was like, even going ambassador, you guys, I didn't send out 100 messages a day. I've not once in my life sent out 100 messages a day. That sounds so bad. But I send out a consistent amount each day, like 20 a day consistently for the business. Because the business and distributors is what's going to bring you back tenfold. But I just do it consistently. So there's not going to be one post. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, Christy just said she signed 10 distributors. Go look at her last post and share that. But I bet you it wasn't that post. It was probably a post from a week ago, and then all my last 7 posts that led up to that, and my stories, and then me following up with them. It's literally, it's the perfect storm. You have to post, you have to message, you have to interact, you have to add new people to your network, and you have to follow up. And I'll just say one last thing. I think the biggest, like, obviously we know mindset is everything. I'm sure you talk about it all the time. But I think one thing that people forget is network growing, because they're like, no one's liking my stuff, or no one's signing. And I'm like, you have to have new eyes. If I'm not signing, all I have to do is get new eyes, because I'm like, I got all the posts, I got all the stories, I'm consistent with that. But I just need the right eye to see my right post that's going to like trigger for them. So do not forget to grow. Yeah. Network equals net worth. That's literally what it is. Like, it's just new eyes. But yeah, I'll just shut up now.
No, I love it. I love it. There were so many things that you said. I was like, yes, yes. And the best way for me to describe it, when people ask me, what's more important, loyal customers or distributors, I'm kind of like, well, that's asking like, what's more important, your left arm or your right arm?
Right.
Important.
Right.
Like, you can't say one's more important than the other. But if you're talking about really expanding your business, adding loyal customers will add to your volume. Assigning distributors will multiply your volume. And the way you can think about it, you guys, is like this. It's like if you were, and I use this on the phone with potentials, you guys, is if you're a pharmaceutical sales rep, you can only go see so many doctors in a day. But if you're a pharmaceutical sales rep and a territory manager, you're still going to see your doctors, but you're also teaching 4 or 5 people who are in your territory how to go see 4 doctors too. So when you multiply that, for me going to be able to see 4 by myself to now I have 4 other people going to see 4 by themselves, that's 4 versus 20. Okay. Do you see where I'm saying? And so a lot of times people are like, well, I'm really good at signing loyal customers. I'm not good at signing distributors. First off, that's a mindset. And second off, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because you're going to be drained if that is your MO. If that is the story you're telling yourself, is you're going to feel exhausted by the end of this, because you're just going to be filling boxes. And so I think it's just very important that we think of, people say this all the time, but like whatever you're saying, whatever follows the I am will follow you. It will eventually find you. So if you're
It'll
saying,
haunt you.
yeah, it'll haunt you, or the blessings will rain out, like the blessings will rain out from heaven. Because I think at the end of the day, like if you say I'm confident, you're going to become confident. And it's not faking it till you make it. It's faith until you make it, right? Confidence is a choice. I talked to my team about this the other day. Like, it's a choice. It's not like the empowerment you'll feel from confidence will come from you choosing confidence every single day. From you saying, you know what, I don't know all the answers, but I know I can get all the answers. And I know that I'm going to try harder than anybody else to make sure that I have the right answers for my customers and my distributors. Okay. Because the person who knows the most isn't always the most successful. It's the person who applies the most that's the most successful. Okay, you guys, and there's some things, I'm gonna be really just transparent with you guys. There's some things that I still probably embarrassingly don't know the answer to. Like I'll like have to go figure it out or find it because like I'm filling my brain up with other stuff and I'm growing it in different ways. I'm not worried about the BV for every single product because I know I can go find it in 4 seconds. And so can you. And so make sure you're spending time on things that are going to be income producing. You don't know, like the scripts that have been taught. It's like, if you believe, like she said, people will believe you because then you don't have to go look for a script. You can send them a voice message. It will save you years of your life. Okay. And you just talk about it. Because if somebody tells me that the business doesn't work, that'd be like them telling me that the sky is purple. Like, you're not convincing me that the business doesn't work. Like, you're not convincing me that the sky is not purple. So when somebody's asking me questions, I'm answering them with confidence. But that, you want to know where that confidence has come from? From me learning. The best advice I can give anybody in this business is to continue to be a student of the business at all times. At all times. There was a quote I read the other day, and it's like my mantra for the year. It says, every master knows that they will forever be a student. Okay? Because the moment you stop learning, the moment your paycheck goes down. The moment you think you know everything is the moment your paycheck goes down. Okay? And so those are things that like I'm there's girls on my team that out enroll me and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Can you share the message that's working with you? Like, it's not a special power that like I have or Christy has or any VIPs have or anybody that's diamond and above. It's literally just choosing to show up for your business each and every day. That's the choice that you have to make. So I'm going to share a little bit about my story for a second,
Yes.
just for a hot second. I know I kind of went off on a tangent, but welcome to the Squirrel Zoo. So anyways, I ended up joining the business after I had one of those moments. And I think that everybody has a moment in their life where they're like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? And and just to slide this in there as a tip, that's why posting consistently is so important. Because if you're not posting, when somebody else goes through that, what am I doing with my life moment? You need to be the first person they think of. Because the first person I thought of when I had that what am I doing with my life moment was Erin Tweed. Erin Tweed was posting. I wasn't even friends with her. She was tagging her husband, who I knew briefly from college. And I had a moment where I'd asked for a raise. The raise was not denied due to my performance. The raise was denied due to the budget of the bank. And that was the moment where I said, you know what, that's the last time I'm going to let anybody else's budget determine my family's life. Okay. And I just said, like, I'm done with that. Like, there has to be another way. And so I've never been somebody who's scared of hard work. I just wanted to feel like I was getting compensated for it. I wanted to feel like the work I was putting in was equal to the income that I was being paid. And so I remember very vividly, we were driving through this really nice area. And I just remember being like, who lives in these houses? Like, who in the heck lives in, have you guys ever had a moment, drop a one in the comments if you've had a moment where you are literally like, what do those people do? Or you've seen a nice car and you're like, I wonder what they do. But you start like I started really thinking through this. I'm like, there can't be enough CEO positions. There's not enough 9 to 5 positions. So what are these people doing? And my husband half jokingly said to me, I feel like everybody just has a side hustle. And I was like, dang, maybe you're right. Like, maybe that's it. And first person I thought of, Erin, right? But it was funny, you guys, I'd followed her for a year and never once did I ever think about doing it. She posted all the time, but I never thought that I would do it because honestly, everybody, went to school, got my degree, was in a regular corporate job. My dad's a stockbroker. My mom's a stay-at-home mom. Everybody in my family has traditional jobs. I didn't even know, this is actually really embarrassing. I didn't even know really what an entrepreneur was. I thought it was like business owners, and I definitely didn't know what network marketing was and that people actually made a living from it. I just thought it was something people did from the side. And so I literally remember messaging Kyle Tweed being like, hey, how much money is your wife making a month? P.S. Don't do that. Okay, that's kind of a really rude question to ask. My social skills and emotional intelligence has probably been up since then. But he was like, she's making $8,000 to $10,000 a month cause she was a double diamond at the time. When I read that message, you guys, I remember looking at my husband and be like, this dude is lying to me. He is lying. There's no way she's making $8,000 to $10,000 per month. And he was like, well, even if she's making half of that, you're just trying to make $500, right? Because I was just in there trying to get my hair and my nails done. I just had a baby. I did not want to be a stay-at-home mom, to be honest. I was just one of those people that was like, I wanted to be able to live the life that I wanted to live, without feeling like I was a prisoner to my bank account. I didn't want my bank account to determine what I could and couldn't do. That's not the life I'm trying to live. And so now that doesn't mean I need to go out and buy Louis Vuittons and Teslas all day, every day. Like, I'm not saying I need to do that, but I did not want to have to question if I could buy dinner for my parents every once in a while. I didn't want to have to question where my, if I wanted to spoil myself and get my nails done, why couldn't I? If I worked hard day in and day out, like, this was not the American dream that I was living. Okay. So I like walked into work and I started looking around and being like, these people are like older ladies, older gentlemen counting down the days to retirement. And that can't be me. I do not want to be in a position where I'm counting down the days to escape something that I've spent my whole life doing. Like, if I've devoted, I want to love what I've done. I want to have built something. My husband told me this fact the other day, and again, I'm just going off on a tangent, but it'll come full circle eventually. But my husband told me the other day that the average person is forgotten in 3 generations. The average person is forgotten in 3 generations. And I was like, that can't be me. That can't be me. And so there's certain things. And if you guys are on here and you're like, that all sounds great that it worked for you, but like, I don't know if it could really work for me. You guys are these like cute little blonde white girls. Like, okay, this works for everybody, first off. But if you're breathing, it's a sign that you have something that somebody else needs. Okay. You are put in here on this team, in this page, on this Zoom for a reason. And it's because you can succeed. This business does not discriminate. There's people in this business, like Christy was on food stamps. Like, it doesn't, like, there is just so many different types of people in this business. And that's why getting the conference is so, so, so important. But you have to recognize, and if you don't know what you want, which is the most important thing, you have to figure that out. Start with what you don't want. And that will lead you to what you want. Because so many people I talk to, they're like, I don't know what I want. Like, 99% of people aren't getting what they want because they don't know what they want. When's the last time? Could you answer the question if I asked you right now? Tell me 5 things you want. Could you answer the question? And to be honest, if somebody asked me that 5 years ago, I would have not known. I was complaining about something that I wasn't willing to change. Is that you? Are you complaining about something that you're not willing to change right now? Are you complaining about the fact that, you can't pay your bills and that, like, you're struggling, but like all of a sudden you're sitting here saying, oh, but I'm really too tired to work my business. You're sitting on a gold mine. Okay. So anyways, I talked to Erin and I was like, okay, this girl seems like kind of normal and she's not like pushing this on me. And I asked her the question, what do you think makes you so successful in this business? And her answer was, honestly, I just share my adventure. I just integrate it into my life. And so all of you guys out there who are trying to balance this and say like, okay, this is my family time. This is my business time. This is my me time. This is this, like, your life will never be balanced. I'm just going to let you know. And when you try to balance it, it's actually funny, because the best way I know how to describe it is you just are blending it. You're going to blend everything together. Okay. Because part of your family time is going to be you responding to some messages. Part of your business time is going to be your kids jumping all over you. And so just make sure that you're understanding that it's blending it. There's no such thing as like a perfect balance where you can compartmentalize everything. It's just going to be blending. Blend it all together. Okay. So I hopped in not knowing anything about anything. And you guys, if you look back at some of my posts, it's embarrassing. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I posted a picture of my daughter's butt she was 5 months old, and I posted her baby rolls like from her back, and I put a bottle of Fat Fighters next to it on like a pick stitch, like where you put the pictures side by side. And I was like, fat rolls are only cute on little babies. Okay. Like I did not, and I was like talking about Fat Fighters. Okay. Like I did not know what I was doing. My posts were awful, but like I was just learning and I was having fun with it. I was laughing at myself. One time I copied I don't know, it was like either Alyssa or Aaron's post, forgot to change the phone number. One of them had to message me and be like, hey babe, make sure you change your phone number. Okay. Like I've made all the mistakes in the world, but I'm still here. And that's the coolest thing about the business is it's so forgiving. It's so forgiving. You can make mistake after mistake. You can have a bad day, but you know what? God's mercies are made new every single morning. And so you get to wake up and do it and go and attack it the next day, but you just have to get back on the horse. So I went diamond pretty quickly. And then like just ran away my team because I didn't know much about leadership. And I just felt like I was kind of overbearing and, you know, was like, I don't understand why everybody's not working as hard as me type of thing. Did that and then kind of learned my lesson and made sure that, you know, I did it differently the second time around and whatever. And so I ended up, you know, just promoting, and I was similar to Christy, promoted kind of once a year. I actually sat at triple for 18 months. So it was probably one of the harder seasons in my business. And it's funny now because when I tell this story, I think people are like, oh, you sat at triple for 18 months, but like, it's okay because you're ambassador now. But like, would you still be here if you sat at a rank for 18 months without promoting? I had 2 kids in 18 months, not during the same 18 months, but you could have 2 kids in 18 months. Okay. Like that's a long time. That's a long time to sit at a rank. And what I've learned in that valley was so much more important than what I gained on the mountaintop. And I think that prepared me because then once I went press, 6 months later, I went ambassador and our team was ready. Like we were ready because of what happened during that season where it was tough, you know, and it just every day reminded me how bad do I really want it. And so I think that like people who have sat at a rank, like there's so many things I could say to you, but the biggest thing you have to realize is that it's not the rank, it's the person you become, because the rank will follow the person that you become. Ask yourself, if you're a double diamond, say, and you want to go triple, what does a triple diamond do? Who is a triple diamond? And if you start to become disciplined, if you start to become where, you know, you want the result more than you care about what the process is, if you start to become, you know, what a triple diamond embodies, triple diamond is just a representation and a reflection of who you are as a person. The fact that you were willing to work when other people weren't. So I'm going to stop rambling. But anyways, I've been in for 4.5 years, went ambassador a little under 4 years. And I've just like, my life has totally changed. And I love people. So the business has been just like so awesome. From that standpoint, to be able to invest and pour into people is like my favorite. It's like my favorite part of the entire business. So make sure if you guys do have questions, you're putting them in the chat and making us answer so that we can help you become the successful person that you want to be in the business. Okay, Christy, question for you. What do you feel like is something that if you could go back, you would tell yourself when you first started?
Oh gosh, that's a funny question because honestly, there's really like nothing because I just feel like you learn everything in due time. But honestly, my posts were horrible, but we adapt. They were bad. Honestly, one thing would probably be to go faster as far as like starting my consistency faster, asking more people sooner and faster, because truthfully, I didn't really ask people until about a year in, until after I was diamond. And I could only imagine if that first year I was asking people already, like who would be in my business, maybe in, you know, be one of my presidentials or my ambassadors. And, you know, one thing that kind of is one of my, I don't want to say my pet peeves, but one thing that I think is a mindset thing. I just saw someone in the chat. When people say, I'm not going to quit, it's like you saying, I'm probably going to quit. It's always the people that say, I'm not going to quit. And I'm like, your job is not to not quit. Your job is to not be here as a distributor in a year and a half. Your job is to promote. You're going to not quit. You are going to rank up to whatever promotion. Like, we're not quitting. It's just like we say, quitting is not an option. It sounds so cliche, but it's not an option. So we don't talk about it. We talk about what we want. Like, we're not saying I'm not sitting here on a bad day. I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. That's like you saying, hey, 50% of me is kind of considering quitting right now. Like, that's what I have realized, the people that are saying that. And I'm like, well, damn, we need to get you reading a book right now if you tell me you're not quitting. I'm like, because you're going to be the next person quitting in my business.
Yes. Pam told me something one time that's always stuck with me. And she said, your brain doesn't understand. I think it was Pam. I don't know. I could have read it, but it sounds like something Pam would say. Where she said, your brain doesn't understand the word no. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, if you say like, I'm not quitting, all it hears is I'm quitting. Right. So instead of saying I'm not, like, even same thing, I'm not smoking, I'm not eating carbs, I'm not this, all it thinks about is, if you ever been on a diet and you like didn't even crave some of the stuff, but then all of a sudden when you couldn't have it, you wanted it. Okay. It's kind of the same thing. So when you start doing like, I'm not quitting, instead of saying that, just replace it with, I am a warrior. I am a conqueror. I am somebody who battles through things when times gets tough. Start talking about what you are instead of what you're not. And I made this mistake for so long, because I used to just reinforce all these negative habits that I had with myself. Like, I would be like, oh, I'm just not disciplined. Oh, I'm just not organized. And I would use my personality as an excuse. Stop doing that. If you're doing that, if you're on the Zoom, you're like, oh, I'm just shy. Oh, I just don't know. I don't know how to talk to people. Practice. Go talk to people. Go start to have those conversations. It doesn't happen just like, we didn't come out of the womb like, oh, we know exactly how to sign up distributors. Like, no, we did it because I've watched all of Jade Hooper's YouTube videos. Like, I've watched all of the resources that were available. So it's not a matter of not quitting. It's a matter of fighting. Like, who are you? Because that's what you will become, right? That just goes back to what I was saying. It's like, who are you becoming? Are you not a quitter, or are you a winner?
I love that your brain can't understand. That's powerful, because that is what it is. It's like, oh no, I'm not having any, I swear, anytime I'm like, I'm not going to eat after 8 p.m., that's when like 11 p.m. I'm like binging. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to not think about that. I'm just going to figure out something else to do during that time, so that I'm not even like, you're planning to fail, basically. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I had two little things once when you were talking that I kind of wrote down. One thing you were saying, like, for me, you guys, like, something I learned early on is that this business is unlimited. There is no top. And so you have to enjoy the journey. You can't be waiting for the reward to feel good about working this business. If it makes you miserable to sign distributors or to train distributors or whatever it is, it means that you don't want this bad enough. And it's funny that you say you love people, because to be honest, I always used to just hang out with my siblings. I was like, man, people are annoying me, whatever. And like, now I'm like obsessed with talking to people all day long. But one thing too, you guys, is that you can go hard and you can be a big signer and you can hit every single promotion of yours without going so hard that you regret the work that you put in. So that's one thing. Like, we are in a season or a year, honestly. I don't believe in seasons. I believe in years. You decide how your year is going to go, and it needs to continue throughout summer and the winter. So the biggest thing is that people always ask me, how many people did you message when you went ambassador? How many people did you this? And I'm like, the same that I did to go triple into presidential. And when I was talking to Pam, I told her, I was like, I want to go black diamond. Do I need to do more, or do I just need to basically be more? Like, in my mindset, she's like, just be more. Like, it didn't change for me going to triple to presidential to ambassador. I'm like, you're right. It wasn't. It was just that me and a whole bunch of people were doing it together. But you guys, just like what she said, everything will mesh together. You know, I'd go message some people back, go play with my kids, you know, go make dinner for Aaron and I, and then I'd be messaging people during it. Like, you do not have to go and lock yourself in a room for 12 hours a day and work this business to be an ambassador. Like, you don't. The whole point of this business is freedom, but that is where the discipline part comes in. And I used to say, I'm not a disciplined person. I'm not a disciplined person. But I was like, well, sure as hell, I need to become a disciplined person if I want to be successful in this business. And so it was no longer about like, I have to schedule this, I have to schedule that. It's just like, what do I need to make sure that I get done that an ambassador would get done? I need to get out these messages. I need to do this personal development. I need this, I need that. And all throughout the day, I could do those things and I could still talk to my husband. I could still play with the kids. And I'm not perfect, of course. There's times where I would go too far left and I'd have to check myself. But those, like what Kelsey said, every morning you get a new slate. Like, you wake up every single morning and you get to say, okay, what did I do good yesterday? Let's do more of that. Oh, I was really good at, you know, giving my kids that personal moment and then going and messaging afterwards. Or the opposite, you know, like, yesterday I spent 4 hours on my phone and I wanted to like punch my kid in the face because they were like screaming through my voice messages and things like that. And I'm like, you guys, like, we don't need to do that. Like, we can be like, you know what? I got to check. And I do not punch my kids, just FYI. That sounds horrible. But like, we're not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect, but I find that degree, because you're never going to go 100 degrees in one day. So if you make that, you know, 5 degrees to the wrong turn, just turn it right back the next day. Like, you can decide what you need to do better. For me too, and I love what she said too, always be like, you know, willing to learn. If someone's like signing, or even if someone's not signing, if someone's doing amazing, I'm like, what are you doing? Okay. That doesn't mean I have to change what I'm doing if it's working, but I am never not willing to learn. Absolutely. Like, I'm always willing to learn. I'm like, I'm not the best and I'll never be the best because, again, there is no cap, you guys. There is no cap. And so I always say too, like, try to find that imbalanced balance throughout the day by just making a priority list. You know, these are things I need to get done for my business. And, you know, these are things I need to get done for my family, and the house can wait. You know, like, make a priority list for yourself each day, because you are always going to have a new goal. And if you say, okay, once I go triple, I can get a house cleaner and I can get a maid, and then I can spend more time with my kids. Guess what? You're going to go triple and you're going to have new goals, and you're going to be like, oh, well, actually, I'd rather use that money for something else, or I'd rather this, or I'd rather that. You're like, damn, I just ignored my kids all the way to triple diamond, and that wasn't worth it. You know, like, you never want to resent the business, and I never have, but that's because you have to enjoy the journey. Like, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be lefts and rights. And as long as you enjoy it, like, you will be here for forever. I will be here for forever because I already know, like, I'm still living my life while living the business in my life, if that makes sense. Like, yeah. I'm still enjoying it. And one last thing too, I wanted to say is, so something I did with my team, it was a few months ago, but I told them, like, split a piece of paper. And this is kind of what you were saying also, but split a piece of paper and put on one side, like, what if I do, and put on the other side, what if I don't? Mm-hmm. And write down all the things like, what if I do this business? And what if I do it and work my business every single day? What's going to happen? What's going to change in my life? What if I don't? That what if I don't part is going to be pretty much where you're at right now, because you're never going to progress without doing something different. But that what if I do side, it's going to be powerful. And that is why, if, like she said, if you don't know, if you can't name 4 or 6 things that you want right now, you don't have a why big enough. Like, it's just not there. And it has to be like immediate. Like, I know exactly what my top 4 goals are for 2020. So make that list. Like, this is not like rhetorical, like, pull out a piece of paper when we're all done, or right now, whatever, split it and say, what if I do, what if I don't? Because you're going to have hard times. You might take 3 years to go diamond. You might take 90 days to go diamond and 6 months or a year to go double. It's going to be so different. I know people who got in after me and went presidential an ambassador before me. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, okay, just stay in your lane, like stay focused on what you want, because their success or their failure or my success or my failure, like it doesn't change what's on the list. So that what if I do needs to be so strong that it doesn't matter how long it takes. You guys, if you hit one rank in every year, it would take you 8 years to go ambassador. In 8 years, in any other job or business that you do you think you can make over $35,000 a month? No, you can't. You won't. And that's one rank a year, and nobody does that, right? If you're still here, like, you're going to be an ambassador. But yeah, that's seriously, you guys do that. Like, it's super, super, super powerful. And, you know, maybe even like Kelsey can post something on your team page. I had my girls share it on a post, and like, it is so powerful, because you're like, okay, every single day, like, if you ever want to quit, or if you ever don't want to quit, pull out that piece of paper and look at it and be like, well, damn, I might as well put 30 minutes to an hour into my business today, because why not? If you guys have any TV, Netflix, Disney Plus, I don't care what you have, every single one of you guys probably turns on the TV at least once a day, even if it's just background for your kids. You have 30 minutes to an hour to work this business. You do. You do. And it will accumulate. It will. It is the compound effect. It will accumulate over time and give you your goals, like get you what's on the left side of that paper.
100%. I love that. We do something similar where I just recently asked them to write a letter to yourself 5 years from now. And if you wrote it today, it would be January 6th, 2025. And if you chose this business every day, what would your life look like? And then write that letter as if, and say like what all just happened in the last 5 years. Because I think so often we limit ourselves to thinking smaller, like especially when we do dream boards, right? Because it's like, oh, the dream boards are like this year. And then we're like, oh, well, that can't really happen this year. That can't really happen this year. Like, don't limit yourself to a year. Like, don't limit yourself to a year. Do 5 years if that's what makes you really dream big. And I love, like, I really believe that when people, for a lot of people, not everybody, because everybody's background is different, but a lot of people, when they get into the business, it is not that they need something that's pulling them. It's that they're running away from something. And that is just as big of motivation. And that's why I love the things, what if I do, what if I don't? Because you're starting to recognize, like, what if I don't? Like, do I want to be where I'm at 5 years from now? And I think that when you think about that, like, I was running away from something more than something I was running to when I first started. And a lot of us are in that boat. And if that's you right now, that's fine. Go with that. Run away, run fast, like go away from something until you figure out what you want. But don't put so much pressure on yourself. Like, you want to have this huge SUV. You might want to make $500 a month. And you know what, girl? Do it. Do it. Nobody's asking you to ask for a house right now, but your brain will start to expand. It will grow, and it will come into that. Because one thing I want to make super clear is you don't just find your passion. It's not hiding under a rug or in the closet or whatever. When I jumped into this business, like I said, I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was, much less was I passionate about it. I developed my passion by putting in the action. So stop saying like, oh, I just don't know what I'm passionate about. Do different things and you'll figure it out. But you don't figure it out by thinking. You figure it out by doing. And so often we want to sit here, we want to overthink what we have to do, and we don't get anything done. Christy mentioned that you guys as a team, a lot of you guys were reading the book Atomic Habits. And one of the biggest aha moments I had in that book is I'm a person who's not necessarily in love with like having a structure. I love like having freedom of time. And if you're like me, that's totally fine. Okay. But what I realized was by me not creating a schedule, I was actually a prisoner to not having a schedule. Like, I was actually less free because I spent so much time trying to figure out what I was going to do that I didn't do anything. I wasn't doing anything. Instead of just saying, okay, what do I have to do? I have to do this right now and this right now and this right now. And then I would have all the extra time to do what I wanted to do. And I will tell you, I'm just going to be super transparent with you guys. I don't love every part of this business. There are times when I want to throw my phone against the wall. There are times when I wake up and you know what, you guys, I don't want to do it. I'm just going to be honest. There are days that I have like that. Now, majority of the time I love the business, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, every single day when I wake up to message, like I'm so excited to send out my messages. Like, no, sometimes I'd rather just sit on the couch and watch Suits, or sit on the couch and watch. Yeah, of course. I would love to do that. But I'm reading this book and you have to read it if you haven't already. It's called Relentless. And one of the things that he says, I just sent it to one of my girls tonight. This is so good. He says, I'm not asking you to you don't have to love the hard work. You just have to crave the end result so intensely that the work becomes irrelevant. You have to crave the result so badly that the result becomes irrelevant. I mean, the work becomes irrelevant. And so what I mean by that is, like, think about this. Why do women have babies? Like, the thought of actually carrying around 30 to 50 extra pounds a month. I mean, over the course of 9 months. And then you have to push it out of your private parts, just sounds horrible. Like that, like, to anybody, if you are actually physically thinking about this, that's horrible. But why do people do it? Because they want the end result. They want the baby. So they'll go through whatever they need to go through. They'll go to bed rest. They'll go to whatever it takes. They'll give up whatever they have to do it. And so my question to you is, are you willing, or do you have the end result that you want to crave so badly that on the days where you don't feel like doing it, you still choose to do it? Because we all have those days. We all have those days. We're females. We have hormones. We have all these things that are going on. We have kids. We have husbands. We have these things. And so I'm not going to sell this idea to you that you're going to have this office and it's going to be so pretty, like Sherry Lynn Alcala's, and you're just going to sit in your office and cross your legs and read a book in peace and quiet for 30 minutes, and it's going to be great. And then everybody's going to message you from one post. You just have this magic post, and then when you post it, everybody will message you. No, you guys, that is so far from the truth of what the business actually is. You guys, look at me. This is what I look like 90% of the time. Okay, my hair is in a bun. My makeup is half on, half off. I ran 3 miles today. I haven't showered yet. Okay, but nobody can smell me through the phone, so it's fine, or through the video. And hold on one second. And so I think that you have to give up that idea and that expectation of what you picture the business to look like, and just do whatever it takes. Just do whatever it takes, because this is your life. Like, what you're talking about is your future. And you get to have the opportunity that we have to invest in your future. It is truly an opportunity, and we all forget that sometimes. I consistently have to remind myself, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. Because, like she said, where else are you going to make $36,000 a month? Where else do you have the opportunity to make $100,000 a month if you wanted to? Where the answer is nowhere. And so if you have this opportunity, the joke's on you if you don't have the reason and you haven't developed what you're going for. And it's not easy, it's work. It's work. But I will tell you that I love the process too. Like, I don't love the process always. Like, it's like you have a love-hate relationship with it. It's like working out. You love the process, but you don't love the process, right? Like, you like it because that's what it is. That's what we're going for. We're going for the process. And when you have all your systems in place and everything's moving and you're going for promotions, there's no feeling like it. There's literally no feeling like that adrenaline. It's like fourth quarter of the game. Like, are you in? And everybody puts their hands in. Okay. And I think that when you recognize that it's okay to not enjoy every second, but that doesn't mean that this is not for you. It's okay to not enjoy every second, but that doesn't mean that you're not in the right place at the right time with the right people, with the right company, and that it's going to work out for you. And I asked Chrissy that question earlier about what's one thing she wished she would have told herself. And the only thing I wish I would have known is it's going to work out. It's going to work out, because you have to do it scared every day. You're going to feel the fear. Do it anyways. Just do it anyways. Because everybody feels that we have this idea that everybody at the top doesn't have that fear. Like, I'm sure Christy still sometimes has the fear of like, oh my gosh, did I do my messages? Did I get enough out? Was I good enough mom? Did I do all this stuff? Like every day those things, oh gosh, I didn't post in this. I forgot this. You guys, do you know how many host to post giveaways I was supposed to do on Sunday night that didn't happen and they did it on Monday morning? Okay. Like it just happens. It's life. But does that stop me from getting back on the horse? No. I just get back on the horse because I still have something to offer people, and so do you. So stop denying people your gift just because you're scared, because that's selfish. That's selfish. Okay, I don't know where I was going with that, but I really do want to know how you signed 20 to 30 distributors. So you can go ahead and tell us all that.
Usually it's about 15 to 20. So you guys, kind of like we were talking about, that book, I love that book, Relentless. It is like kick your butt. And like when you are read, like if someone's like, oh my gosh, you're an amazing person in a book, I'm like, put this book down. I'm like, I need someone to kick me in the butt, you know, and be like, you're a bad A. Like, why don't you just do it? And I'm like, you're right. Why don't I just do it? So I love that book so much. It's amazing. But I think for me, you guys, like, well, not for me, for everybody, we're going to say 1,000 times over, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. I can almost guarantee that 90% of anything I've said tonight, or would say any night to anybody, one of my distributors is Scourge, one of my distributors that's killing it. I'm sure Kelsey feels the same way. Any one of them, it's probably because we've read it in a book or listened to it in a book or heard it in a video, whatever it is. Like you, honestly, distributors is a mindset. It is absolutely a mindset. I just had a girl that just signed a distributor and 2 customers. She hadn't signed anything in like 6 months. She's like, I don't know what happened, blah, blah, blah. But you know what just happened? Like 3 days ago, she told me that she decided, she was like, I need this. And you know what? Her why instantly became big enough. And all of a sudden she was able to sign a distributor, and she hasn't signed one in 6 months. Like, what? It's not like they're not there, you guys. They're freaking there. If I'm signing them, if Kelsey's signing them, if Eliana's signing them, like they're there. You're just not connecting with them. So my thing is just, like I said, being consistent with the stuff every single day. Some people don't message. They only use attraction marketing. And guess what? It works for them because they believe it's going to work for them. Like one of the girls who was at the top 20 retreat with us, she was like, I sign 15 to 20 a month and they all come to me. I don't send out any messages. And I was like, well, damn. And it's because guess what? She believes that that's going to happen. She believes that when she posts and interacts and adds new people, that what's going to happen is they're going to be attracted to her. Right. And, I have girls on my team that do that. I decided what I wanted to believe because half of my leaders are people I went to and the other half came to me. And so I'm like, I'm not missing anybody. Like I'm going to them and they're going to come to me. So my thing is I go to people, but they also come to me. People are going to come to you if you are consistently and constantly growing your network. It is just new eyes. It is the right person at the right time. Just like what Kelsey said, like I've had people that are like, oh my gosh, never going to do that. And all of a sudden they're like, and I lost my job, or, and my husband got sick at work, and he had to take a week off and now we're behind. Like I said, I would never do this, but here I am messaging you. I don't know how many times. That's why I don't get discouraged if I don't sign anybody in a few days, or if like nobody's responding back to me, because I'm like, they're there. Like I'm planting those seeds, and that one thing's going to happen and they're going to come crawling to me like, Christy, save my life. And I'm going to be like, girl, I got you. And it's going to be amazing. So they are going to come to you from your posts. Yes, be genuine. But if you're brand new, like you don't even know what genuine means in this business, right? Like you don't even know. You've never even read a book. You've never even signed a person. You're like, I want to be genuine, but what do I even say? If I personally would have never been able to steal people's posts in the beginning, I don't even know where I would be. The crap I used to write was horrible. So for me, like it's okay to mimic other people's posts. Just reword it. Change some of the font, change some of the writing. If it's got Kelsey's number on it, make it your number, you know, like just little changes are important. And you will start to make your own posts as you do, guess what? You do personal development. almost all my posts, I literally will listen to something. Even if I listen to it for 5 minutes while I'm doing my makeup, I will write down like a sentence from it in my notes in my phone, and then I'll make that sentence and I'll elaborate on it. And that's my post. I'll take something from my dream board. That is hilarious. That's so funny. Oh my God. I got some weird ones like that too, with like Emma is like wrapped with like a wrap, and it's, man, we used to use our kids for all sorts of stuff. Or I will take something off of my dream board, and guess what? I'll make a post with that. And just different things like that. I'll be like, oh, Kelsey made this really good post about like fear. And I'll be like, I should make a post about fear. So those different posts each day. And you guys, I personally do one business post a day. That is the goal, period, end of story. I do not go to sleep without it. And I believe that you'll get more interaction if it's around the same time each day. That's kind of what I figured out. If my post is like between 5 and 8 p.m., I get like 190 likes. If it is like at 1 p.m., I get like 50. I'm like, what the hell? So I usually do mine at the same day. The things that I'm telling you is signing distributors. It's attraction marketing. It's new eyes, getting a good post. I'm sure you guys have heard this 1,000 times. Get a preset for your photos so they all look nice and clean, because this is social media. Like, as much as you don't want to be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. That's the way of the world. This is social media. I'm not saying that you can't have your hair up in a bun and be like, this is real life, but it better have a filter on it. So it matches the rest of them. You know what I mean? Like, your makeup doesn't always have to be done, but you got to have the same filter for all your pictures so you don't look, like unprofessional, I guess is the word. And, my page is not like professional, but it just is, I don't know. It's like, it blends. So people are going to go through your pictures and they're going to follow you or add you on social media, on Facebook, whatever, if your picture looks good. The first thing they're going to do is see the picture. The second thing they're going to do is see the first line of your post. And the third thing they're going to do, if they like the picture in the first line, is read the rest of your post. And that is the goal. Like, my goal is to just have at least one person actually read my whole post, because I know that it will touch them. So I sign distributors like that. And then I sign distributors by offering the business. I kind of have like a chain of command. I'll go to, obviously, comments on my post, likes, and then I will go to views on my story. And sometimes I'll say, hey, I saw you viewed my story, but usually I won't, because if they're viewing your stories, they're starting to kind of think about it. They're like thinking about the business a little bit, because they're still viewing your story. So like, this is funny, but if I do like a 5-slide business story, on the last slide, I'll message those people, because they are the ones who finish. They finish my story. So then I'll go through and I'll message those people and I'll be like, hey, Courtney, I've been watching you for a little while. I think you'd be awesome at the business I do. Like, you're super cute, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever thought about it? And so Courtney's going to be like, she's thinking about me. I was just thinking about her. And so those are the people that I message first and offer the business to, because they're already thinking about you. They're not like as random, if that makes sense. Same thing for Facebook. So that's when I do it that way. And then besides that, I'll just go down my timeline. Like, if I haven't messaged you, like, I'm not afraid. I don't think it's spammy, because this is an opportunity and I'm giving it to you, and you can either accept it or decline it. It's just like what they say, like when you're, at a restaurant, if you say, no, thank you, I don't want any water, you're not throwing the water in their face and say, how dare you offer me another glass of water? Like, I didn't want that. No, you're just like, no, thank you. You're just not interested. But guess what? After you eat your meal, you might want some more water. So that's kind of what I do. But the thing is too, is you guys look at this every single day. On Saturday, I signed 3 distributors. I had on this piece of paper. When I'm feeling like, man, I need to sign some people, I just just grab a piece of paper and I'm like, I am signing 2 distributors today. And I do it like on the front of my notebook that has my potentials and whatnot. I have I am signing 2 distributors a day. Do I sign 2 distributors a day every day? No. But like they say, if you shoot for the stars, you'll land amongst the clouds. And so my goal is always to have a goal bigger than what I even think might be not possible for myself. So 2 distributors a day, guys, that's 60 distributors a month. I am not doing that each month, but when I say I am signing 100 BV and 2 distributors a day, I'm always bringing in at least 1 enrollment a day. And that's pretty damn good for me. You know, like I'll take it. Like, you got 1 enrollment a day. Okay, girl, you know, like that's 30 enrollments in a month. And if 20 of them or 15 of them are distributors and then the other 15 are customers, that's perfect. And so kind of like what Kelsey said too, it's like your left and your right arm. Both are important. And I believe like sharing about your, this is actually a big way to sign distributors also, you guys. Some of my best distributors started out as customers. So sharing, I know you guys already know this, but sharing about you using the products on your stories, sharing stories like that. Stop using blurry stories. They're so ugly. And they just look super unprofessional. It's better for you to just post like a random picture and be like, you know, like, look at my cute keto coffee. Like, it's better for you to do that than to post a random blurry story. It just doesn't look cute. They're not looking at it. But I believe some of my distributors have signed because of my belief in the product, because people are scared, I think, sometimes to do this business just because they're scared of being someone that sells health products. They are like, they're just like, damn, I would love to be where she's at. And I don't mind using social media, but I'm scared to be the person that people are like, oh, you don't need supplements to lose weight. Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're scared of that. And so when I'm over here, like, y'all, I do work out and I just had a baby 4 months ago and I do try to eat healthy, but guess what? I just signed a freaking customer who has been eating good and working out for a year and lost literally half a pound. Okay. And I will say that kind of stuff. And I'll be like, you do need this. Like, you need to slap your body and you need to make this work. And then that, my belief in the product makes them say, okay, the products work. People do need them. I could do this business. So they really do go together. Like, don't be afraid to talk about the products and yourself using them, because it's going to attract customers and distributors. So that is really how I sign distributors. I post, I message, I add, I interact, and I follow up, and I work on my mindset. Eliana and I were talking yesterday too, and I was literally like, I will get my mind right from the beginning of the day. And if I can spend, 60% of my business time on my mindset and the other 40% working the business, that 40%, it just flows. Like, I'm like, people are coming to my space because I just listened to a YouTube video that said people were coming into my space, right? Like, that's all it is. Like, you might wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but you listen to a video, they're like, why can't you? And I'm like, you're right. Why can't I? And then I like message people and I'm like hyped, and they can hear that hype in my voice. Like, even if you got crazy freaking kids, you guys, I will literally like run upstairs or run into the bathroom and I'll send a voice message like, girl, you need to do this business with me, blah, blah, blah. And like, I promise you, the busy people are the ones who get stuff done. Like, if you're sitting around home all day, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe you only have 1 kid and you're a stay-at-home mom. You got to do something. You got to figure out something else to put in your schedule, because then when you just have like the hour and a half to work your business, oh, it's going to be the most productive hour and a half of your life. And you're not going to be able to think about those messages you're sending out. You're not going to be able to push it off. You're just going to be like, I'm sending out messages to these people right now, and I don't have any other time to do it. But it's a freaking mindset. And so when people told me that, I was like, you're stupid. Like, I'm fine. I am a happy person. Like, I don't need no mindset. Like, you guys are, your voodoo is not going to work on me. But the first thing I ever did for mindset was literally just watch The Secret. You guys, I watched The Secret on Netflix. It's super simple. And I was kind of like, is this voodoo? Like, what? And then I was like, no, like, that higher power is God. Like, that's what it is. They're just portraying it in a way that anyone, anywhere can listen to it. But like, that higher power is God. Like, ask and you shall receive. Like, he's not going to give you anything unless you are willing to accept it and you're willing to do the work for it. Like, he's not going to be like, yeah, girl, you sit on your butt all day and all the people are going to message you when you open up that book and you put up one good post. Like what Kelsey said, like, it's not going to happen. So start with The Secret if you've never done any personal development, and it's going to seem kind of wacky at first, but like, just try to apply it and you're going to feel so good about it. And you're going to feel good about like what's to come for your business and for your life. And then go make that list of what if I do, what if I don't, and then go make a dream board and just get excited. Like, you just have to get excited about what is to come, because good things are going to come. And some of you guys are going through crap right now. You know, like Jessica, like her mom is going through cancer. It's so hard for them. Like, you know, some of you guys are going through crap right now, like really, really hard stuff. But the stuff that's going to be here and the freedom that this business is going to give you, life is always going to happen, but money makes that stuff so much easier. Oh my gosh, so much easier. Like Stephanie, she's got, is it pancreatic?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Yeah.
So, she's got her cancer, but guess what? When we talk to her, like, they're going to the best doctors ever. They are doing this. They moved to Florida to be close to those doctors, all of this kind of stuff. Guess what? She was going to get that cancer with or without this business, but because of the money that they have, they can get the biggest and the best that they need to. Like, you don't know what's to come. And you might be going through it right now, but like, this business is not the thing that you need to take off your plate. It's the thing you need to put on. It's always like, I think this business is such a choice that when we're going through hard stuff, we just want to like lighten our plate. We're like, okay, what can I get rid of? Well, you can't get rid of the hard thing. You can't get rid of your marriage. You can't get rid of your kids. You can't get rid of your bills. So what do I get rid of? My business. That's the one thing. Like, I can actually get rid of that. But that's the thing that you need to keep on your plate to help everything else that's on the plate going wrong. Like, that's what it is. But anyways,
I tell people all the time, like, you telling me like you don't have money to do the business is like you telling me you're too dirty to shower. Right. That's why you shower. It's because you're dirty. That's why you joined the business, because you're broke. Okay. Like you have to, and that's why you work the business, is because you're broke. Like, you don't like the situation that you're in now. And so, I always ask myself like the question to people, I'll say, how bad does it have to get? How bad does it have to get?
Ooh, that's a good question.
To do something about it. And Pam told me one time that she'll let people like, have their session with her, and then she'll say, okay, what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, dang, that's so good, right? Like how many times have we gone into any situation and it hasn't turned out the way we expected, and we're just disappointed in whatever the result that we thought we were going to get versus what we got. And it is easier. It is the one thing that we can say it's optional. But when you decide, it's like when I go out to run, I have to tell myself I'm running 3 miles, because if I don't, I'm negotiating with myself the entire time I'm running. Oh, well, it's a little bit cold today, so maybe I'll just do like 2.5. Or no, like I worked out yesterday, I'm a little bit sore, so I'll just do 2 to give my body a chance to rest. Like, it's a constant negotiation. It's the same thing with the business until you make that decision. You will consistently be negotiating with yourself about how much time, how much effort, how much this business means to you, until you make the decision that you're going 2 feet in. And when you go 2 feet in, God can bless you. He truly can. But he has to know that the people he's going to bring to you are going to be led by somebody who's 2 feet in. So I think we're over time. I mean, I could do this for like 3 hours, because
me too.
It just like fills my cup so much. But I just want to tell you that I appreciate you so much for just like not only just being you, but like setting the example and raising everybody's standards. And so thank you for hopping on and spending your time. I don't take it lightly. And I know everybody had just amazing. I know I had so many aha moments tonight. And I'm excited to hear what everybody else's are. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me and being on together.
Yeah, it was so fun. Bye, guys. Have a good night.